What's up, everybody? It's Chase here, back with another Jiu-Jitsu video for you guys. So today we're going to talk about learning styles. The easiest way to think about it is I've kind of broken down these learning styles into two categories. And I'm more talking about from the perspective of a brand new person. I'm not necessarily talking about the experienced person who's been training. Break it down for white belts, and when people first walk into the gym or to the academy, you can kind of break them down into two ways. So you have the nerd, and then you have the athlete. Let's start with the nerd. So typically the nerd is a smaller, a weaker person, even maybe a female. And they are there because they've done some research and they understand that jiu-jitsu is great for leverage. It's great for self-defense because you don't have to be big and strong to be able to perform the techniques. You don't have to just punch your way through somebody in order to be effective with the move. You get to learn all the details and the finite movements and the leverage. So they've already done their research. They know jiu-jitsu is very effective for a smaller person. So they're already kind of nerdy about it. They know all these things. Then you have the athlete person. The athlete is a person who is already athletic. They're probably already in shape. They maybe participate in other physical activities, weightlifting, running, other types of exercise events. And they have heard that jiu-jitsu is a great workout. And they like the idea that it's kind of a competition. They like that you can kind of get in there and you can test yourself and compete. And a lot of people like that aspect that are into exercise and working out already. They like a form of competition. You have both of these learning styles that typically you can categorize people when they first come into the gym. Now, the way that those people progress are two different ways. The nerd person becomes very nerdy about the technique. They start to understand the leverage. They start to see those things. They really pick up on the details. It's probably they're already connecting techniques together much faster. But because they're smaller and weaker, they tend to still have a hard time while rolling against the athletic person just because the person's more athletic, and it takes time to really master the technique and the nerd aspect of it. Around mid blue belt to purple belt that I start to see these really nerdy people start to catch up to the athletic people who are bigger and stronger, and then the athletic people have a much harder time with the person who's nerdy because everything that the athletic person is doing, they're able to kind of out technique them and stop them and slow them down and be able to utilize the leverage and the awesomeness of jiu-jitsu. Now, the athletic person, what's the benefit to being the athletic person? Well, number one, you're athletic. So a lot of times I can show them very few techniques and they can give my blue belts or even my purple belts a hard time in the gym because they are athletic and they're strong, they're cardiovascular, they have good endurance. You only have to show them a few techniques and they can go out right away and compete and do really well and be a valuable training partner for that aspect. They're strong, they're durable. Like I said, around mid blue belt to purple belt, they start to figure out that their athleticism doesn't get them as far because now they're competing against people who have as much technique or more than them, and they know how to neutralize their athleticism. They now have to take a deeper dive into the technical side and try to figure all those things out, not just use their athleticism anymore. Now, what tends to happen, the nerd, who is really nerdy, they learn all the technique stuff, and then as they keep training, obviously jiu-jitsu is an amazing workout, it has a lot of benefits for you. They start to move more toward the athletic side as well. Athletic person does the same thing. They are starting over here all the way athletic, but then as they continue to train, they will start to move more toward the middle as well too, because they will start to pick up on more technique, they will start to refine it, they start to figure out that them just being big and strong doesn't, always fix everything. So they do dive into the technique part. One side typically stays around longer than the other. I would think, well, it's the athletic person. The athletic person sticks around longer because they have more success. They have success faster. And in my experience, that is wrong. It is typically the nerd person who walks into the gym that's extremely nerdy and wants to figure out all the leverage things. They stick around much longer. I mean, there's no hard and fast reason of why this is. I feel like it's because when the athletic people start to, their athleticism doesn't carry them as far, they start to get frustrated and they don't know why their stuff isn't working, or they don't know why they can't get it to work, and it's because they don't have quite all the technique right, and so they get frustrated because everything that's always been successful for them is no longer working. My technique people, they understand that it may take them a little bit longer, but because they're so nerdy just about the art, it's not necessarily the early success that keeps them. It's the fascination of all the different things that can happen and how many different ways I can do an arm lock, how many different ways I can do a triangle, what's best for my body, what's better against a bigger person, or what's better against a smaller person. But they tend to stick around longer till the end because they took an early interest in the technique part. Now, I have both. I have advanced students that are, you know, purple belts and brown belts that start athletically, and then I have purple belts and brown belts that start nerdy. And they, like I said, they eventually always come to the middle. That's just the two styles of learning that I have kind of seen from day one when people come in. As a jiu-jitsu instructor, you kind of have to treat them a little bit differently as well too. You have to kind of educate that the nerdy person, that because they maybe are smaller and weaker, they're gonna have a little bit more struggles when they're rolling against the athletic person. So you kind of have to educate them on that. And then you have to do the same thing with the athletic person. You have to not be too high on the athletic person. You have to tell them, hey man, that's great that you're athletic. You can run circles around, you can keep pushing, you can keep this pace up for a long time. But don't forget that, you know, there's gonna be always someone bigger and stronger and faster than you. So learn the leverage, learn the technique, learn, you know, maybe the proper way to where to put your weight and the most effective way to do this arm lock, because eventually someone's just going to be able to get out of it. So those are just a few things that I have seen over my years of training. And yeah, I just thought I would share that with you guys. So I'm curious to know, which one are you guys? Or would you consider yourself more of the nerd or more of the athlete? You know, send me some questions. I'd be happy to answer your questions if you have any more. I'd love to do these videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.